Hey everyone, welcome. I'm getting a lot of questions regarding the liquidity pools and staking your coins, basically. And I want to let you know there's kind of two different things between staking and liquidity pools. Liquidity pools is you loaning out your coins in order to get a portion of fees or transaction fees from a decentralized exchange. And staking is more along the lines of staking an individual coin with a project in order to get a return on investment. And today what we're going to cover is Uniswap liquidity pools. So I'm going to go through just a quick guide that I've created and try to do an example with you and help you out in that process. So the first thing we're going to get into is kind of strategies. There's kind of short-term gains and long-term gains for different strategies within liquidity pools. Um, the short term side, you're looking at maybe a couple days to 1 week. You're looking at coins that have high volume, and it tends to be mid cap coins that, just all of a sudden had news announced or some sort of hype around them. You're looking at more of a narrow range, and I'll get into that range a little bit as we do in the examples. And you're looking at a larger investment, usually around $3,000 or more, and I actually suggested 5,000. I mean, that's what I do. I'm not going to give you financial advice, but I'm just going to tell you kind of what I do around it. And your expectations, I'm looking to get 20% in a week, but you have to know the risk as well. So there is a high risk of impermanent loss. And permanent loss means that based on your range, one way or the other, you could lose your coins. So when you provide liquidity, you're providing two different coins, a pair. So for example, Ethereum and then another coin associated with it. And let's just say, since it's been hyped lately, ApeCoin. So you would provide ApeCoin as liquidity and you would provide Ethereum as liquidity. And the way it works is there is a transaction fee that Uniswap charges for anybody that is wanting to buy ape or sell their ape and with Ethereum. And that transaction fee can vary, as I'll show you, in different pools, anywhere from 1% down to 0.05% of a transaction fee. By you providing your liquidity to that pool, you are entitled to a portion of those transaction fees, depending upon what your ratio of liquidity is compared to the total pool size. So, in an example, if you're providing $1,000 in liquidity, and there's more that goes into this, but I'm just trying to give you a little bit of example. If you're providing 1% of the liquidity and there are 100,000 within the pool, then you're actually at 1% of the pool. So you would theoretically get 1% of the transaction fees associated with that. And I'll show you how to research that stuff as well. But there's a little more that goes into it, but you'll see. Looking at the long-term side, you're looking more at weeks to months, maybe even a year, as far as how long I actually put mine in. You're looking at more reputable projects. Tends to be, some of the mid caps, but also some of the higher cap coins. And you're looking at a wider range, and a range would be the range at which you allow liquidity to be traded. So for example, ApeCoin currently at like $13.50, and you are providing liquidity within, say, $10 to $15. I'm not saying that's what you need to put it at, but I'm providing you as an example. So if it trades under $10, then you no longer get any transaction fees. If it trades over $15, you get no transaction fees. It's only that range between there. So I'll show you on the return on investment some things. On the long-term ones, actually that should be fixed right there. That shouldn't be 3,000 plus to 5,000 plus. You're looking more, you can put lower amounts in a long-term one. And the reason I say that is ETH gas fees are currently ridiculous. So you don't want to be constantly pulling things out. If you're having to pay $50 on a transaction fee to stake and unstake, and you're only staking $1,000 worth, you really got to have a nice return pretty quickly in order to be able to remove those and make it profitable. But you can do these more with maybe 1,000, and I may do one for you here to show you. So what are your expectations? So your expectations on your long term, I'm looking at 100% over 6 to 12 months is what I'm trying to get. And then, on your major coins, like you can actually stake ETH and wrapped Bitcoin, and you can get a decent return on that as well. So it may be 25% annually, and you're okay with that. The impermanent loss, you're likely going to be converting all your liquidity to one coin or another, except when you are doing ETH. Well, it's still possible with ETH and Bitcoin. Depends on that ratio, and I'll show you some of that as well. So the things that you're going to need a hard wallet. What is a hard wallet? Well, it can be anything from Coinbase wallet, which is one that I use. It can be your Trezor or your Ledger or anything like that. Something that you own the private keys to. It can also be, I know some people use Trust Wallet, MetaMask, which is MetaMask. You can get you can have it create an address for you, or you can actually import it. So like your private keys that you would have with Coinbase Wallet, and when I say Coinbase Wallet, not Coinbase app. So if you're not familiar, there's two different ones. Coinbase app means that it is a centralized exchange or trading place. So they have control of your coins. You have no private key. I always suggest you have a private key. So Coinbase Wallet, you actually have private keys to. You can import your private keys into MetaMask, and you can search anywhere and see how to do that. Pretty easy, but never share your private keys with anybody. But you can import your private keys from Coinbase Wallet into MetaMask so that you're using MetaMask in order to actually make these transactions. And then you're going to need a coin pair with Ethereum or other. And you can also do it with USDC, USDT, and I'll show you some of that as well. Just some different examples. So some tips. I'm going to come back to this at the end, because you're going to wait for low gas fees. I mean, I was trying to help Holly do it yesterday, and her gas fees were $130, and she was, it didn't make sense to remove her liquidity because it was going to take all of her profits. And then, research coin news and announcements, find out if there's something getting ready to happen. For example, and I don't know, I know there's probably some places where you can provide liquidity for Cardano, but I'm not doing any of that one right now. I'm sticking with Ethereum coins in this one, especially because Uniswap is pretty much all Ethereum. But I know Cardano is going to have a big update in June, so you're probably going to see a lot of liquidity with that, or a lot of volume. So find out when different projects are going to be launching big things within their project, and that's good times to where volume is going to increase. And you're going to engage in the communities, talk to them, find out, ask questions. What's going on in here? I mean, the last thing you want to do is go invest in a coin that you have no idea what it is just because it has volume. It could have volume because people are dumping it too. And then do your own research. And the last thing there at the bottom, and I'll put this link in the description, is actually a place where I do some research to find out on a Uniswap liquidity calculator. So let's dig into this a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to that liquidity calculator and kind of show you what it is. You can enter up here any coin whatsoever. So I'm just going to use Ape to show you as an example. And you can see that there's a liquidity pool with Ape and DAI, Ape and ETH, Ape and USDC, Ape and USDT. There's more Ape, but you can see there's a 1% and there's a 0.3%. So the 1% means that anybody transacting with that pair is going to pay a 1% transaction fee, which great, that's more money for the people providing liquidity. But as there starts to get more volume with coins, people end up creating pools with 0.3% because they can have a larger portion of that pool. And it ends up to where people start trading because they want to pay a lower fee. They want to pay the 0.3% fee rather than the 1% fee. And so you can end up, we're going to use ETH here just so I can show you as an example. And we're going to act as if we're putting $1,000 worth of liquidity in. So currently on Ape and ETH in the 1% pool, if you put $1,000 in liquidity in, it's estimated that you're going to get back $9.45 per day, or an APR of 344% annually. Now, there's some things I want to let you know about this. This is based on some settings of the range. You see this select liquidity bounds. So this is on APE per ETH. If APE goes up and ETH stays at the same dollar amount, and so you can, there's 170 APE per ETH. If it goes higher than that to where maybe it's 150 APE per ETH, you fall out of range. If it falls below, or APE starts dropping and goes less than 327 APE per ETH, then again you fall out of range. So watch what happens when I open up this range. I'm going to move it to 405 and 92. So now it changes things a little bit, and now we're at $4.61 per day, or 162 or 168 APR. But can it stay within that range for a year and you get 168? I don't know. These numbers are based off the last 5 days swap volume, so you can see it's gone down a little bit each day. But it may be something you want to try. And if you think that APE is kind of it's at its bottom, as an example. So it's currently 227. So I'm just going to move this to 275. And I think it's just going to keep going up. Well, now we're at $6.18 per day. And what if I think I see an area that I'm going to put this at 150, and now I'm at $10.16. So you can mess with that a little bit to get an idea of where you want to be. So if APE goes up, what is that? Roughly 50 more percent. Somewhere right around there, 40 to 50 more percent than ETH, then you would fall out of range. And when you fall out of range, it doesn't mean you stay out of range. It can go back in range. But if you're trading on the long term and you get out of range, then you're probably going to withdraw your fund or remove your liquidity and then put it back in at a different range. But you remember when I talked about the more money you have within a pool, the better off you are, because you're going to pay transaction fees either way. And if you're going to pay $50 on a transaction fee for removing, you want to do that when you've got $5,000, $10,000 in a liquidity pool, versus doing it every time you have $1,000, or you're just going to run out of money. So short term, you definitely need more money. So let's go look at it from the standpoint of APE USDC. And this is a 0.3% fee. So if you have $1,000 in there, and we're going to say, yeah, something's happening with that. Let's refresh it. I'm not sure what that is doing, to be honest with you. Because I need, let's do it with the 1%. Okay. So currently $1,000 in liquidity for APE USDC is going to provide 73 cents per day, or 26%. That's still, if you're looking for, I'll take 26% any day. But if you've got coins you're sitting there holding on to for long term, you may as well be staking them. Just understand the impermanent loss side of it, though. So I'm gonna say I don't think APE is going to drop below $12. And I'm going to put that range at 21. Now I'm at $1.76 per day, or 64% APR. So again, drops below $12, I'm out of my range. Goes above 21, I'm out of it as well. But let's say I want to bring this down to 15, and I'm doing this short term. So I think it's going to be in this range for the week. We'll just say there. Does it make sense to do this for a week in this short range? Probably not, because you're looking at $3.67. So there's not really enough volume on this one for it to make sense. So let's go do some volume research real quick and then come back. So I am going to go to Uniswap. Actually, let's go this one. And go into tokens. And you can see things here. It said the 24-hour volume and then the total value locked, okay? So I am going to look for coins with good volume first of all. You can see Ape was there. Total value locked at 30 million. So I like to see more volume than total value locked. And again, you're going to need to do more research into this. The volumes have been low lately, so I mean, you look at Matic here. Matic would be considered more of a stronger trusted coin. You know, what is Matic right now? Let's look at. So Matic is the 17th highest market cap at 11 billion, which it's been moving pretty good. But so let's go look at Matic as an example, because I told you I want to give you a few examples. Okay, so there's two pools. They're both 0.3% fees. There's one with ETH and there's one with USDC. Let's click on the ETH one first. So Matic, $2.90 per day at 105% APR. And you can see the current price compared to ETH. They're 1,959 Matic per ETH. And you can see this is a very small range, though. It would be very easily to fall out of this range. So that's probably not one you want to look at right now. You know, another thing you can always do is you can go to CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko and go to the search bar up there and just click it and see what is trending, and that'll give you a little bit of idea. So Axie, let's go look at Axie, which Axie is pretty much always trending anyways. So that's a 0.3% fee one. And $1,000 would currently pay you $7.32 per day or 267 APR. And you can see that that range there is 48 to 64 per ETH, meaning if it goes up much more, then you fall out of range. It can drop quite a bit though in order for you to stay in range, because it's currently at almost 50. So that's not a great range. Now let's say you think it may go up more, but you don't think it's going to go down more. So we can move these liquidity bounds a little bit and say, okay, I'm going to move this to 55, roughly, and 41. And so now you're looking at 7% or $7 per day, 272% APR. Again, you know, the ApeCoin, when I did it, as soon as ApeCoin went, I jumped in there and I got 20-25%. So not every one of these is going to make sense for you. Things that could make sense. Let's go look at BTC. So this is a wrap BTC. If you do this, you're probably going to want to buy your BTC through Uniswap doing this. So those are two pretty safe assumptions there. Of course, staying in this range, 67 cents per day. This would be a longer term one. 24.46%. Liquidity bounds 13 to 15. So that's the ratio of ETH to Bitcoin, and it's currently at 14. And so in the last 5 days, it's traded within there. But what if ETH has a big jump? You may end up having to, again, pull your liquidity out and switch it over. Let's go see if there's more money in the 0.5% one. No, it's less actually. So what about ETH and USDC? So Ethereum's currently trading at $3,062. It would be $6.55 per day, 239% APR, but that has to trade within this range of 27.89 to 31.01. Move this range out if you think that maybe it's, and when you're doing it on Uniswap, you can actually make this range different than what this is. This is just to provide an example. But 2,634 to 3,256, $3 per day. But if you think ETH is going to $5,000, then this doesn't make sense to you, for you to do. So one that I'm in right now, the volume isn't great. UOS to ETH, 1% fee, $14.25 per day on 1,000, 520% per year. You can see the range here. We are actually, based on this range, you would be very close. If UOS goes down much further, which I honestly don't think it will, you would be 2780 UOS per ETH would be the range. Over here, we're looking at 2411. I think I have mine more like this. I can give you my range here in a minute, and this is $9.45 per day. Looking at mine actually, so this one has been open 2 days right now, and it's almost 4,000 liquidity, which is a little bit higher than what it was, and it's gained basically, it's probably getting about $15 per day, and you can see my minimum range here. So current price is 3,666, when you come down here. And then you can look and see what my minimum and my maximum are. So I'm barely, well, I'm not close to my minimum really yet. I mean, it's got quite a ways to go before that would happen. It would have to go up 20% versus ETH for me to be out of the range there. And then max price would have to come down quite a bit. So you can see here, though, it says your position will be 100% UOS if it drops. Your position will be 100% ETH at this price. So I think it's only going up. Sorry, I had this a little wrong. So if it gets, it's currently 0.0003666 UOS per ETH. If this is looking at probably 75%, so it'd have to go up 75% in order for me to be 100% ETH. So that would be my impermanent loss, where all my UOS here, which is currently almost 2,500, would turn into ETH. I don't look at it as a bad thing either. I mean, I don't mind holding ETH, and I'll pull out at that point, and I maybe put half of it back into UOS and open it back up. But I'm going to click remove liquidity so you can see here. If I move my when you're doing this, I highly suggest, unless you plan on I would never click on collect fees, because you're going to pay transaction fees twice. Now, if Ethereum transaction fees drop down to $2 or $3, fine, no big deal. But when they're as high as they are right now, you would end up choosing remove liquidity, which would also collect those fees for you. As you can see right here, ETH fees earned, UOS fees earned. And when you click remove, you can see how much this is going to be. $83 right now in transaction fees in order to remove that. So not ideal at all. So how do you create liquidity? If you're going to get your coins, you need, after you've researched your coins, and I'm going to look at one other one to add to this, one that I really like, Gala. So Gala and ETH. Currently says based off 1,000. That's how much I'd get per day. We'll just say $6.64 for 242% APR. That's if it stayed in the range for the year. Some of them could. Hell, I don't know. But you definitely want to do your own research. So you're going to buy your coins, and you can buy them on Coinbase or wherever you want, wherever you want to buy your coins. But you want those funds within your hard wallet. Once you connect your hard wallet, once you connect your hard wallet, you're going to go to uniswap.org and you'll open the app. I'm just going to show you from the beginning. Launch app up here on the right hand side. You're going to, right here at the top right, it's going to say connect your wallet, and you'll end up clicking that and it'll open up MetaMask, which will allow you to connect that. So again, if you haven't imported your private keys into MetaMask for Coinbase or whatever hard wallet you're using, you'll need to do that. So once you're connected here, if you just have Ethereum, you need to buy a coin, you're going to go to swap. And you'll have the first one is Ethereum. And your second one may be, we'll say Gala. Now, I've already added Gala in here, but they're going to be coins that don't show up. And how do you make sure that you buy the right coin and not some fake coin? Go to CoinGecko, type in your coin. Gala is currently ranked number 65th in market cap. Right here, you're going to see a click to copy of this contract address. It's to make sure you're always using the right coin. Click it and copy. Go back to Uniswap, go to the selected token, paste that address in, and it's going to find the correct coin for you. So to start out with, you're probably going to want to use 50% roughly in Ethereum and 50% in Gala. But in most of mine, I end up having closer to 65 to 70% of my altcoin and the other 35% in Ethereum. So if I was to buy it, I'm just going to put one in here as an example. So let's move this to 0.0. And so if I was going to buy 1,205 Gala, I'm just going to make this an even thousand so that I can show you an example. And then I would click swap, and you can look that you're probably going to pay some decent gas fees on this. So I'm going to pay the 0.3% transaction fee, and they're saying roughly $20 in gas. The reason it costs more on the staking is because you're actually sending multiple coins and you're receiving LP tokens in return, liquidity pool. So it's estimating $20. Let's go see what they're saying on MetaMask. $35. It's usually lower than that. So that's, I'm rejecting it, of course, because I will never pay expensive fees on that. This really should be, when you're just buying, like $8 to $10. So we're going to say I bought my 1,000 Gala, and then I'm going to click up here. After, you'll get a pending transaction that'll show up here at the top right. Once that's complete, if you have CoinMarketCap, or sorry, if you've got Coinbase app or Coinbase wallet as an example, you'll see those coins in your Coinbase wallet. So I'm going to go to pool, and I'm going to click new position, and I would be doing Ethereum and Gala. And so now we're actually going to see, and again, you can paste that address in there. So I'm going to say I've got 1,000 Gala. And based on this current range, current price is 12,087 Gala per ETH. If the minimum price, if it was 6,000 Gala per ETH, so Gala doubled, it'd be in this range, right here. If it went to 25,113 Gala, so this again, you know, you can figure this out. But if I played within that range, I would have to put forth 0.0822576 ETH. So that would be a longer term play on that. If I want to come down and bring this to where I think Gala is probably at the lowest it's going to get, if I thought that. So I bring this to, it's currently 12,000 Gala per ETH. If I made this to 14,480 and this stays here, you can look, I've only got to put in $73 in ETH. Now, if I want to play a longer term thing, and say, well, I think I want to provide liquidity for more longer term, that's $47 in ETH now. The narrower this range, the more you can expect to pay too. But the narrower the range, the more profits you will get. The more percentage of commissions you will get. So if I move this down, this is an extremely small range. It's $160, but I don't trust that. So I may go out and say, I'm comfortable with this range here as an example. And now I need $175 in Ethereum in order to do that. So this is a quick version of doing that. Let me know if you have any questions, because you could study this stuff all day, and I actually suggest you do before you open up your first liquidity pool. But good luck.